Hey basketball players, today I'm going to talk to you about the basics of basketball. Basically everything that you need to know if you're about to go and play basketball for the first time or even the 100th time. Some of these things might be new to you. So first off, in basketball, there's a basketball. You're going to want to wear shorts because, well, let's face it, if you have to dribble the ball through your legs, it makes it a lot easier than if you have pants. And also, if you have shorts on versus pants, it's going to allow you to cool down as much so you're not going to be overheating. Now, getting down to it, the types of shoes that you should be wearing are actual basketball shoes. If you're wearing running shoes, you're going to have a higher chance of, well, rolling your ankle. Now next, after you get the clothes out of the way, you're going to need a basketball court and a basketball. Now, coming down to it, there's different sizes of basketballs. There's a size 7, which is what adults use or men use. Then there's a size 6, which is one size smaller. And what that's going to give you is a little bit lighter of a basketball, a little bit easier to shoot. Women tend to use that basketball all the way through high school, and also guys, at least up here in Canada, boys will use it up until grade 8, and then they switch over to a size 7 in high school. Now there's also size 5 basketballs, and those are generally for younger players who are like 7, 8 years old, and they're usually really small basketballs. To them, they're still kind of heavy to get to the rim. And that brings me to my next point. Sometimes at the younger age groups, they'll have rims that lower. If you don't have one of those rims and you've got players who just cannot shoot on rims that are 10 feet high, then you might want to get a hula hoop under it. However, if the player is over the age of 8 or 9, they should be able to get at least the shot up to the 10-foot rim. If they can't, they need to get stronger as soon as possible. Now, next is the team game, the game where you're going 5-on-5 or 3-on-3. Basically, one big tip that I have for all the players who are playing in games is do not crowd the basketball. There's nothing worse than having a basketball bouncing somewhere and having 10 players all around it saying, pass me the ball, pass me the ball. We don't really like that. It's not a lot of fun. Even the kids who tend to have that happen, it's not a lot of fun. So spread out, have the ability to get the ball passed to you, because if you're right next to the ball, you ain't getting the ball passed to you. Next is going to be dribbling. Now, when you're dribbling, you might want to dribble with your fingertips. The reason why you want to do that is so you have more control over that ball. That way you can pick up quicker, you can pass it. And again, if you're passing or shooting as well, you want to use those fingertips because, again, you have more control over the ball. If you're dribbling with your palm, you're having no control over where that ball is going. You want to dribble with your fingertips. That way you can cross people up and make them break their ankles. Now, another thing when you're dribbling the ball up the court is you want to have your head up. The reason why you want to have your head up is so that you can see the court. And if you're dribbling with your head down, two bad things will happen. One, you're going to get dribbling right into your defender. It's going to be a foul on you, or he's just going to steal it from you. The other bad thing that can happen is you're going to dribble right towards the rim, and then you have nobody to pass to. Nobody wants to play with you anymore, and it's just not going to be a fun time. So keep your head up, know where your defense is, and then know where to pass to get somebody else an open shot, because there's a thing called an assist, which is going to allow you to have bigger stats and help your team win more games. Now, when you're shooting the basketball, some quick tips that I'm going to show you today. Of course, I go in further depth on this subject in many other videos that I have. But the main thing is when you're shooting a basketball, again, fingertips, it's going to allow you to control the ball a little bit more because I can do this. If I had my palm on the ball, see, the ball is moving around, I can't control it. But if I got my fingertips on the ball, I'm able to control it a bit more. Now, from there, when you're shooting, you want to have your elbow underneath the ball. You don't want to be like Lonzo Ball and chuck up shots like this. That's not going to go straight. But if you can keep your elbow underneath the ball, and the second hand is only there to make sure that the ball doesn't fall off, basically, elbow and this part of your arm facing straight towards the rim, you're going to extend, have it roll off that middle finger, and it's going to be a straight shot. Now, again, I go in further detail of shooting form in other videos, so I'm not going to go really in depth on this one, but I will list them in the description in the top comment below. Next is the lines on the basketball court. So this big rectangle right here is called the key. Now, offensively, you're only allowed to be in it for only a few seconds, depending on your league, between 3 and 5 seconds. Generally speaking, it's 3 seconds in 99% of leagues. Now, what that means is you can post up players in the key. You can count in your head 1, 2, and then you can get out and then get back in. That's totally fine. Now, going from there, this line right here is called the foul line, and obviously what we're going to be doing here is taking free throw shots. Now, when you take a free throw shot, the reason why you're taking it is because you were going up for a shot and you got fouled. When you get fouled in the game, you're either going to be passing it in from the sideline, the baseline, or you're going to be taking free throw shots if you get fouled when you're taking a shot. Now, from there, fouls are when you're dribbling, somebody hacks your arm, that's a foul. When you're shooting, somebody hacks your arm, that's a foul. And also if somebody just outright tackles you, which happened to me when I was in grade 12 and screwed up my back at the end of grade 12, yeah, that's a foul too. Now, unless you're playing slam ball, there's really not much contact. There is contact in the low post because you're pushing players out of the key. You don't want them to be in the key because obviously the closer they are towards the rim, the easier it is for them to score. So there is more contact in the low post than there is anywhere else on the court. Okay, so now I've stuck myself in a corner over here for multiple different reasons. So for one, there's a sideline, which is the line along the side of the court, and there's also the baseline, which is the line along the base or the end of the court. Some coaches call it an end line. It's actually called the baseline. Now, you cannot, if you have the ball, you cannot dribble outside or even on that line because that would make you out of bounds. That would be a turnover and the other team gets the ball. Another little thing about this area of the court is you generally never want to inbound the ball from here. So if somebody passes you the ball here, when you're inbounding the ball to you, you're probably going to get trapped. And what a trap is when two players, one player here and another player here, so that you're unable to go anywhere. This happens at the half court line as well. Picture that being the half court line and that being the sideline, because once you go over half, you can't go back. So they'll trap you in any corner of the court. Another thing I'd like to mention is don't ever litter. Like, this is horrible. So those are some of the basics when it comes to basketball. I hope that this video has helped you at least a little bit, and I hope to see you guys again tomorrow for another twice a day basketball video.